Bon appetit.
French, that, isn't it?
Oui.
You don't catch us saying, like, good appetite, do you, over here?
No.
Oh. Good appetite.
Have a nice day. Get it down your neck. Get your laughing gear around that.
Laughing gear. Get your laughing gear.
Get your laughing gear around that.
When's the last time you actually, like, laughed in the middle of a meal?
Must have been ages ago. Last time I went out for, was it lunch? Might have been dinner. It was light, but it could have been the summer, so. It was, somewhere outside. But I'll tell you where it was. It was on the corner of this street here. There's a nice little bistro. And they do a lovely salad. Caesar salad, salad du chef, goat's cheese salad, and open all hours. I was there with what's his name? You know him. He's tall, going grey, bit of a speech.
Tony.
Tony. I was there with Tony. Anyway, he made me laugh. He told me a joke. I ordered the Caesar salad. He had the goat's cheese salad. We were sharing a carafe, and he told me a joke about. He said, Penguin walks into a bar, and walks up to the bar, and he says to the barkeeper, "Excuse me, have you seen my brother?"
Have you seen your what? Your brother?
Brother. Penguin says to the barkeeper, "Have you seen my brother?" And the barkeeper says, "I don't know." "What does he look like?"
So Tony told you that one, did he?
No, but, that was the last time.
So last time you laughed?
In a meal. During a meal, you said. When was the last time you laughed during a meal? And that was it.
Tony's penguin joke.
What?
Tony,
Yeah, he's funny.
the penguin joke.
He's got away with him, hasn't he? He's I mean, he doesn't look it, but he is funny. He looks like a miserable sod, but he's not. He's funny. Deadpan. Like Buster Keaton.
I don't quite see it myself.
What?
Tony.
What? Right, Tony.
Funny.
What about him?
I don't find it funny.
You don't find him funny? You don't find anything funny?
I didn't laugh at penguin.
I've never seen you laugh.
One penguin
What?
looks like a fucking another penguin.
Well, that's the whole point. It's a joke, isn't it?
That's a joke. Penguins look like each other.
The idea of a penguin walking into a bar, that's ridiculous, right? First of all, you're already half laughing before you start, obviously. And then the penguin speaks, it's even more funny. And then he asks a stupid question, that's even more funny. And then the answer is ridiculous. So the whole thing builds up to a crescendo of ridiculousness that makes some people laugh, given the right circumstance.
You don't think that...
What?
That, like, for a penguin, they can tell each other apart, I'm sure.
Exactly. They can. They wouldn't get the joke. They wouldn't think it's funny.
A penguin would, wouldn't get... It's like any joke aimed at another minority. The minority themselves don't find it funny.
Exactly.
It's
exactly.
penguinist.
Right. I shouldn't have laughed. I wish I hadn't now. I wish I hadn't told you. That was a trap setting me.
Penguinist.
You're like a detective.
You're
like a detective, I said.
I'm like one.
Yeah, you're like one. You look like one.
Huh. It's just a bit cold.
You're working on a case.
Just the what's that movie?
What? You're talking over me. I can't hear you.
The movie.
You see what you just did? Look what you're doing. You're licking your plate, for God's sake. Oh, that's disgusting.
That movie.
Oh,
where they take their clothes off.
I'm trying to get over that image. Now what you got? Bloody hell.
You can keep your hat on. You know, they all like take their clothes off and then they leave their hat on.
Is that what you're going to do later?
What?
Keep your hat on. I'll tell you what, another thing which is funny.
Oh, go on.
I believe this. I was on holiday and it was this summer. And in Cologne, you know, in Germany. And I was around the cathedral. It's very famous. You've been there. Have you been there?
Oh, Cologne, isn't that a perfume or something?
Yeah, eau de Cologne, because it comes from Cologne. That's the whole point. You see, they make it there. There's a little factory shop thing. I don't know if it's still real, but they pretend, you know. Anyway, yes, Cologne, where they make the perfume. And anyway, around the cathedral, who was there doing a gig? Guess.
I don't know, who's there? What?
Guess.
What, at a cathedral in Cologne?
Outside the cathedral. In the cathedral, like, esplanade. Guess. You never guess. Who?
I don't know. Tony?
No, someone famous.
Oh, someone famous.
Yeah.
How would I know that?
Well, you've got to guess. Someone famous.
Okay.
Think about your hat.
Brad Pitt.
No.
George Clooney.
No. Come on.
Mark Hamill.
No. I'll give you a clue.
Harrison, what's his name?
No. The clue is Wales.
The Prince of Wales?
Wales is the clue.
What, the Prince?
Just Wales.
Just Wales?
Wales is the clue. Who was doing a gig outside Cologne Cathedral this summer? Clue Wales, and inspiration your hat.
Some Welsh geezer.
Yes, but that's not the answer. The name required.
Welsh geezer with a hat. I mean, it's a bit narrow, isn't it? I mean, open up the opportunities a bit.
Who's your favourite singer?
Tom.
Tom?
It's not unusual.
Yes.
What? I look like Tom Jones?
No, that's who was there. Tom Jones.
Oh. What's it got to do with a hat?
You can keep your hat on. He sings that song.
Does he?
Yeah. I thought that's what you were referring to.
Tom Jones sings You Can Keep Your Hat On.
Yeah.
So things have changed. Delilah is my favourite.
Why, oh why?
Why Delilah?
Are you still off drinking? You're still off then? You're still on the wagon?
On the wagon. You know, I found out today. I mean, how long have I been using on the wagon? You know, there's a. It wasn't just the wagon; it was the something wagon. I only found out today after all this time it's the
alcohol
wagon. The what?
The alcohol wagon.
No, it's the opposite.
The abstinence wagon.
The water wagon. It is.
The what?
The water wagon.
Okay.
I only found it out today.
Well, that's interesting.
Oh. Another thing new today. I've been in London for 40 years.
That long.
And today is the first day I went in the British Library.
Did you read a book?
Nah. One thing at a time. I didn't know you could go in. Loads of youngsters in there, you know. A lot of Italians. I don't know why Italians are in the British Library.
It's open to the world.
Mm.
It's a seat of knowledge. Where you find things out.
Well, it's free Wi-Fi and free fucking plugging into your electric socket thing.
My sister's learning Italian.
Mm-hmm.
Funny that, isn't it?
Hilarious. All your jokes are so funny.
I don't know why she's learning Italian, because she never goes to Italy. And, but she never goes anywhere, but she's learning Italian.
Well, what the fuck for?
Well, that's what I think. I just said, great, that's interesting. I didn't say
go to bloody Italy.
Well, maybe she's planning on a trip. Doesn't want to tell me yet.
She tells you everything, does she?
Did she tell me everything?
I thought she tells you everything.
How would you know?
Well, I thought that's what you said to me. I mean, I don't know. Some time back, I'm sure you said, sister tells me everything.
What do you mean?
What do you mean, what do I mean? Oh, can't you remember one fucking conversation from the next.
You know all about my sister?
Well, you talk to me sometimes, you know? Jeez.
You want to watch your step?
What?
Married woman.
Yeah, I know she's a good woman.
Married woman.
You just because I remember a conversation that you had with me about your sister doesn't mean I want to knob your sister.
Really?
Are we going to drag this up again?
You brought it up.
You brought up your sister.
I brought up Italian.
And then she's learning Italian.
Yeah, like, and you know that already. You know all this already. You know that. And I'm wondering why. You must be up to no good. Again.
Thought you were going to say psychic there or something. Must be psychic. That's what I thought you were going to say. So, you ever been to the British Library then?
Of course I've been to the British Library.
Oh.
I've got a card.
You've got a what? A card?
A reader's card.
Oh,
I can walk in the British Library any day I like. And
you can...
here's my card, and direct me to the reading rooms. I can go into the social science reading rooms if I like. I can go into the literature reading rooms if I like. I'm not just restricted to the public gallery. I can get through the barrier. And I can walk up to the desk and say, oh, have you got a copy of that new Italian novel by whatever name I might come up with? And they'll say, if it's in translation, they'll say yes. They've got every book. Maybe not there and then, but they can order it for you. You can sit in a nice comfortable chair with a nice desk, and you can take one of their pencils. You have to use a pencil, you can't take a pen. You take a pencil, and you've got to have a pad, and you can take notes. And you can write interesting facts down, like, the origin of falling off the wagon, or where did Tom Jones go in his last tour. All these things you can find out if you know where to research it. So the British Libraries is a mine of information. Stuff you can't get on the internet.
You're such a snob.
Am I?
Yeah.
Am I?
Yeah.
I'm a snob.
I go in. Tell you,
I'm
the
a
first
snob.
time I've been in, just going in like the normal sort of general public, and you tell me you got a fucking card.
You've got a chip on your shoulder.
You're allowed.
Yeah.
You can read a bloody book, can you? You can go to the British Library and you can read a book.
You went to the British Library. I've been to the British Library. You asked me. I said, yes, I've been. And I told you I was a member. You could be a member. You just got to have a good reason. Research. What are you researching? What are you interested in?
Language. Not languages. I mean, like...
I know what you mean. Language. Fine. So,
like,
what are you interested in
how do we communicate?
How do
why do we have rules to them? Can we have some sort of language that doesn't have so many bloody rules?
Think about what you just said. Think hard. Can we have a language which doesn't have so many rules? What does that imply?
No, I'm a lazy gear.
No. Like, what's presupposed in that statement? Languages without so many rules.
Presupposed?
What is... If you say languages shouldn't have so many rules, that presupposes languages have got lots of rules. Yeah? Otherwise you couldn't say there's too many. Yeah? They've got rules, is what you're saying. Now, if there's a rule, the question which I think you should think about is, Where do they come from?
Yeah. History. But history is always, what they say, written by the winners. So all these winners of language, they get to say their language, and then maybe other simple languages get like lost.
This is too salty. I don't see what that's got to do with you wishing languages had fewer rules. We're getting off the point.
Oh.
Rally.
Like, you know, like these fucking sexist languages.
Fucking what languages?
Sexist.
Sexist?
Yeah. Pronoun languages.
I think you need to go to the British Library and ask them for a basic book about language, what it is and what it isn't. It's talking nonsense.
Well,
not the first time, of course. Remember when we first met?
no. When did we first meet?
About 35 years ago.
Oh, no, it's a long time.
It is a long time.
Can't remember the first time, though.
I asked you around for dinner and you were late. You kept me waiting.
Bring shit up again, don't you? So, first of all, I want to shot your sister. Now you're going to go.
Sat there all evening waiting for you. Bottle of wine airing. Drank it all. And then you turn up late. Saying you got lost. Moaning about traffic. Bus conductors. And people in the street getting in your way.
Yeah. Yeah, why do they do that? Why is it? It's the bloody Italians again, I tell you. You go down the tube, you go down the stairway, you get to the platform, and there's a clump of people right, like, in the entranceway. You got the whole platform free. Who is it? Which nationality is it that stands there at the entrance, clogging it all up? Bloody Italians.
I like Italians. They know how to cook. They take a pride in their food. Amazing. A friend of mine, he's called Marco.
Yeah?
Italian.
Yeah, tell me.
He talks about what he cooks. It's like it's a work of art. You can taste it and you haven't even been there because he's able to convey the simplicity of how you slice up the ham stuff. I don't know what you call it, but you slice it up into thin strips, bit of garlic, olive oil, chuck it into some pasta oil. You don't chuck it in. So they don't just chuck it in, they do something else. They cook just simple stuff and they make it into an art. Whereas, you know, I just chuck it in a pot and see what happens. And this is what happens.
So, they're good cooks then?
Yeah, they take pride in it.
So is that why your sister's learning? Because she wants to, like, cook, or she wants to shag a cook, or...
My sister again, huh? Maybe that's why you latched onto me all those years ago, because you were sniffing around my sister. I always suspected that. I'm really interested in my banter.
So you've never forgiven me for being late, for nosing around your sister, and for not cooking you some decent food. You just want me to chuck it on. What?
You know what? You didn't always used to be such a moaner. You used to be quite pleasant company. And then I don't know what happened to you. You got all bitter and twisted. Now look at you, moaning. It's other people's fault. Never happy. Always got something to complain about. It's the Italians. It's the pronouns. It's too many rules in the language. It's I don't know what. Why can't you just breathe in, breathe out, and appreciate life? When you were younger, you were relatively happy. Were you not?
I was relatively what?
Happy.
Everyone is when they're a kid.
It's a vicious circle. If you're in a bad mood, you make me in a bad mood, which makes you in a bad mood, which makes me even worse, and so on and so forth. That's a nice hat.
All right then. Let's do that. Let's do that.
Time out.
I'm not going to say anything now. Just going to enjoy.
For the moment. Let's imagine it's 35 years ago.
Look, I just said, shall we shut up for a minute, have a time out, and you're going to carry on talking.
Drive me to drink.
Oh. How long did that last? 30 fucking seconds. You think it's worth going to Italy then? For the cooking? What, now you're shutting up? Some good cooking, even though you've got to deal with a sexist language. I mean, all the luz and las and les and... Yeah.
Can I speak now?
Good. Yeah.
I've got nothing to say.
I thought you might want to scold me and put me in my place vis-a-vis language.
I think I'm realising that I keep hoping you're going to change back into the pleasant character you once were. The happy-go-lucky, likely lad. But you're proving to me that it's not my place, and maybe it's a false memory. maybe I thought you were a happy-go-lucky chap, when all the time you were hiding your misery under a false set of smiley, jokey dispositions. And your true self is what I see now. Moan, moan, moan.
I think this is when you're a kid. Did you ever have your tonsils out? I had my tonsils out. 8th birthday. And your throat, like you can't eat anything. And what's the one thing that you can swallow?
Jelly.
Nah. Look.
Ice cream. And jelly.
Yeah, so that's what kids be. It's fun. That's when you're happy. You've had your tonsils out, and the nurses bring you ice cream.
Can I ask a question?
And they bake you a cake.
Can I ask a question?
Ask away.
Oh, there you go. And
Do you think if you were able to explain everything, you'd be happy?
so,
What? Is that a personal question to me? If I was able to explain everything, would I be happy?
That's what you're doing. You're explaining everything. Everything's that's because the pronouns are sexist. That's because ice cream. That's because I don't know what. And it's like you've ticked it off the list. Explain that. Explain that. Explain that. What happens if you explain everything? Then what? You're going to be happy.
now, right.
Well,
Well,
I think you can be happy when you don't know anything, or rather, when you decide you don't want to know.
Maybe I need to see Tony or something. Maybe that's what I need. Let's have a dinner party. Invite Tony round so he can tell me fucking jokes about penguins and make me laugh.
If Tony comes around, he won't be telling you the joke about penguins. What he'll be doing is he'll be telling the assembled gathering a joke about penguins. Maybe, if it seems like the apropos thing to do.
Yeah, assembled gathering. I just said let's invite Tony round for a meal, and then suddenly I'm inviting fucking the assembled.
Right? There's 3 of us, so he won't be just telling you the joke. He'll be telling us the joke. He'll be sharing a joke with us. It's not just all about you.
The assembled throng. Who is it I'm invited with Tony then? What's Tony's typical audience?
I think that's a good idea. I think Tony's got a good position.
And your sister? And her husband, of course.
Yeah, we can invite them. Maybe we can talk about Italian.
How good their cooking is.
Yeah, I can invite Marco. We could be Marco, you, me, Tony, my sister and her husband. That's a gathering. And if Tony tells a joke, you'll be definitely telling it to everybody, not just you. The spotlight will be off you for once.
So Marco.
Yeah, my Italian friend Marco.
Tell me about him then.
Well, he comes from Rome originally, and he's got a acute interest in art. I suppose you would do, wouldn't he? Coming from
What? Well, because he's got Michelangelo in his.
the history of art. So he can bring it to life the way he talks about it. Like, oh, you see, I'm rubbish. I can't remember the names of the things, but he's able to evoke a painting he's seen and then talk about it like for 15 minutes and how it was made and who did it and where and what it evokes and where you can see it and the effect it had on him. The first time he saw it and why he keeps going back to see it, and then all the time eating a delicious meal. It's quite an amazing thing. You can go for a meal and just eat and not even taste what you're eating, or you can experience the whole thing as an event, a shared event with your friends, family, loved ones, and be happy to be human in that brief moment that you share. Or you can, well, no, not all. That's what you can do. It's nice. I think we should invite them all. I think it could be really fun.
Well, what about, I don't know, British art? I mean, you're Marco there, go to see things again and again and again. You know what I've been to see again and again and again?
Stick it off the list.
Henry Moore.
You like that?
Like that. I could sit around Henry Moore. I would like giant size Henry Moores.
Well, that's progress, isn't it?
What?
You like something.
I like something, yeah.
Makes you happy. Makes you excited.
There's this I said, in 2 pieces or something, and it looks like it's like a body, but like he's taking influence from the cliffs, and when the waves bash through and make holes in and it feels like that's what I want to see, one of those in the sea, like high as cliffs, but it's a female form, but it looks like a cliff. And that's something, isn't it? It's not just one thing. Look, it's a thing that looks like another thing.
That's good. I like that. You should talk about that when we have a dinner party. I'm sure you and Marco would get on.
Well, he'd be telling me about like Michelangelo and Da Vinci and that. Yeah, and I'd tell him about fucking Henry Moore. Or Lowry.
And then there'd be a winner at the end of the night. We'd vote. Who was the best? Was it you or was it him? Is that what you want?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If it's not you, you can moan and say it wasn't fair. If it was you can dance around the table and get obnoxious. I mean, the evening comes and everyone goes, my God, what did we do that for? You get lonely.
So I've heard the Italians are good at the ice cream.
Because I do. I do, I said, sometimes.
You do what?
Get lonely.
So we're talking about you now, are we?
Yeah, I'm just wondering if you feel lonely sometimes. Well, you've been divorced for what, 10 years? I haven't seen you out and about much.
No.
When we had these riveting little exchanges. I just wanted to get lonely. I get lonely. That's why I like to make the most of it when I get a connection. Because you don't often get them, do you?
Is that what this is about?
Oh, I guess this is what it's about, yeah.
Yes, I do that.
Why else would I bother? Why would we bother? We didn't feel that this was some way beneficial to our existence.
Take that.
Sharing this little moment of camaraderie and shared history, and
Stay there. Stay there. Stay there.
we both had our tonsils out. We both had a divorce. Have come up from nowhere to where we are today, and we both have known each other for 35 years.
No.
Not many people can say that, you know.
Yeah.
How many people do you know
If I just visit.
that you've known for 35 years, apart from me? I mean, I've only known Marco about 5 years. I've known her sister, obviously, a lot longer, but she's my sister. Not the same. So, don't take it for granted, is what I'm trying to say. You know? I don't mean to annoy you. Really. It's funny. And it's only funny for a while, when it gets a bit sad. I mean, a meal for one is a lot of effort, but good, isn't it? You spend a lot more time making the food than eating it, and if you're not sharing it with anyone, 10 minutes it's done. It's talking, exchanging it. That beautiful scone you've got there, that looks great, but you're just going to gobble it down. You probably won't even realise it, because you haven't got anyone to share it with, because I'm not there. It's lovely. It looks beautiful. You're not sharing it. It's just for you. You got your nice tie on, you got your hat on, you got a nice shirt on, but it's just for me, I suppose. Mate, it's nice because I like it. It's a nice hat. Beautiful tie. You made an effort. You know, maybe next time.
What it is, I'm imagining. I still imagine her sitting there. We're having a meal for two. She's there. I've dressed up. I put my tie on. I put my hat on. I'm dressed up to have a meal. For what? Because
I know. The thing is, there's so many of us like it, aren't we? We're all sitting around wallowing.
how many of us?
I don't know.
How many lonely folks tonight, this very night, are sitting in, eating a meal by themselves? No one to talk to. No one to say,
Bon appetit.
fancy a scone?
I know.
Must be hundreds. Worse at Christmas. I miss her at Christmas.
I'm not doing
I miss the kids at Christmas.
Yeah.
You know, families. What will go wrong? What would do wrong, eh?
Thank you.
There's layers of doing wrong. You can't change it, can you? You can't change the past. All you can do is now. Therefore, I say, let's organise that aforementioned dinner party with Tom. Tony. Tom won't come. He's too busy. He's on tour. Tony, my sister, her husband, Marco, you and me. And if we say to everyone, bring a friend, there could be 10 of us. And then we can take it from there. Might make new contacts. You can make a batch of scones. I'll bring a crate of beer. Marco will bring an Italian delight. My sister will be able to practice with him. Tony will...
He better fucking make me laugh. If he's coming, he better fucking make me laugh.
Okay.
No pressure.
Okay.
Make me laugh. Or you're getting out. Put a sign over the door. Oh dear. Well, it's been nice.
Hmm?
I said it's been nice. My dinner's gone cold.
What, haven't you been eating?
I've been talking, haven't I? I can't eat and talk at the same time. I'll warm it up later when you've gone home.
When I've gone home, for fuck's sake.
I mean, you can still say some that can go. You can still say some. You can still say some. It's fine. This is okay. This is fine.
I mean, if it wasn't for you, I'd probably end up talking to myself.
So I put it back.
I'd sit here, talking to myself, thinking about her, and have a whole fucking conversation. Like, thinking she might turn up magically, mystically, out of the blue. She might actually turn up, and I'll just be on my own. Hello, darling. I missed you. How the kids doing? I've even forgot how old they are now.
Much. Much. Thank you.
Remember all those Christmases,
All right.
presents under the tree. I went to one of those fathers' meetings. You know, those. Like I only go there once. Told my story. So the guys tell their story. And next week, you know, it's just going to be some new guys again. The end.
Where are we all?
Yay.
Fantastic. Brilliant show. I always find it so fascinating what you do with camera work, and obviously like the dramatic improv side of it, the different approach, to creating like an improvised play or what have you.
Yeah, and we wanted to do something different for the day, and it's just like going, okay, what can we do? So yeah, inspired, I suppose, by my dinner with Andre a little bit. So yeah.
Side of it, anyway.
Yeah.
It's a real twist.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's because we're fitting into your film things, having seen some of your different bits of filming, it's like going, okay, we want to keep the dramatic improv looking a bit filmic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do some acting, try to do some, I don't know, playing around with different ideas a little bit. So it's not your like the rest of the festival with your 30-second.
Yeah, well, the 30-second games are like, there's been the short films, and we've got all kinds of stuff in this festival, and it's great to have something which, again, this is very unique amongst everything else that we've got going on this week.
Yeah, it's good. It's good that you're able to do this. I think it's quite nice to have such a mix of stuff, and streaming to get a lot of different people sort of interested in different things, because there's a whole different world of stuff out there.
Oh, absolutely. And also, just like, we're still in the infancy of what you can do virtually, and like this is a great demonstration of like how you can take the ideas beyond just it being like a Zoom call or what have you.
Yeah. So dressing up and eating, whatever. No, I'm full. I've had a nice dinner for that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Is it today the last day?
Tomorrow is the last day. So we've got another show on in a few minutes' time, which is the last one of tonight. And then tomorrow we've got another smattering of shows in the evening.
Right. Well done.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Right. Is there anything you'd like to plug, anywhere people can find you, anything you got coming up, or anything you'd like to share?
Anything we like. Well, Third Person on Facebook. Got a little page there. Mark Phoenix Classes on Facebook, where I can teach how we do this type of improv stuff. We haven't got anything coming up. We've just done a couple of interesting things. Just performed with some Germans who were in where were they? In Bremen, and they were filming themselves on a screen in our in-person theatre, and that we were being filmed to go into their personal theatre.
That's fantastic.
So we had two audiences watching a screen of actors acting with people in real life. So that was a little bit of fun.
Do you know what? I'll mention straight there. I'm jealous of the fact that you've said that. One of the things, I don't even have it to hand, but over the summer, slight plug here, I apologise, but I put out a book about how to create virtual theatre, and I discussed that very possibility of like having the live in-person thing where you have some actors that could be somewhere else around the world, where you have half a scene here and half a scene there. So that's fantastic that you've done it.
Yeah, and it's brilliant because the Germans set it up, so they had people in
Funken Festival, if you want to look them up.
There's what was Mark? Yeah, the
Fliegende Funken German festival.
Yeah, I definitely can't spell that.
Fliegende Funken. So they perform with people from Taiwan, from Colombia. Where else do they have? They had another people who are based up north, somewhere in Leicester, who do sort of more virtual stuff. So it's people playing with I don't know, being Superman. So you come on and they can make you into Superman or a Pokemon or something, rather than being a real person. But so there's a huge amount of play with that. So it's really it feels good that we haven't abandoned everything people are learning from the Zoom collaborations. This sort of suddenly we got all global. Over the pandemic, we made all these connections. Everyone started to discover new ways of playing, And it's quite nice that it hasn't been abandoned just because we're getting back to real life again.
Well, absolutely. I think it's there's an element of like what I would say like the rubber band effect, where when things could open up again, lots of people would run back to it. But again, over the last few months, I'd say that lots of people who perhaps jumped away from it a little bit have returned, and it'll find its middle ground, and then the more the technology develops.
Yeah. And it's been interesting to have that technology now. So I've now got some radio mics and things, so learning how to plug all that in. So it's really interesting and difficult. There's a lot of technical difficulties in doing that, but yeah, for the people who've got the good, strong tech know-how and computer memory and things, there's this huge possibility of working worldwide. And yeah, it was quite fun, and it's like these things are beginning, so it's like we're playing around today. There's a beginning of it doesn't have to be on a Zoom call. We can make this like a film.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
And it's just from Improv, and it does sort of vary on the space you've got. I'm sort of quite limited here. I put a lot of lights and cameras around me, so I'm quite static here. But it's quite nice. After I had a couple of rooms to walk between, and it makes
actually one room. It's actually one room.
Oh, it's one room. It's okay.
It's the power of, it's the magic of it's the magic of Zoom. I don't know. It's actually the same room. Yeah.
Two cameras. Yeah. It makes it look like two
different rooms. That's great.
Yeah, so.
Well, brilliant. Well, I will in a moment. I'm going to have to get the room ready for the next show. So, audience, coming up will be Good News Toronto, which is a group from around the world, from Canada. But thank you very much. Now, I can remember Mark. I actually forget. You are forgot. There you go. And
it's another Mark and another
Afro. Brilliant. Well, it's been a pleasure to have you as always. Hopefully, we'll have you again soon. And yeah, so audience, go grab a drink or what have you, and we will be back in about 10 or 15 minutes with the next show.